Okay, so this is how to change a Vaillant 937 shunt pump, which I'm sure you all know is up there. That one is leaking. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do now. First thing to do, turn this to isolate the hot, go open some hot taps. Right, so here's your drain off. So I've opened the hot tap, the hot water stopped running. We leave this valve like this, that's the water off. We could turn this point off here if we chose to. Oh, that point off there, if we chose to. We're going to drain from here. This is an air vent. The two tanks on the back of this boiler hold 15 litres of water, so they should fill this bucket I have. A general bucket is about 15 litres, this one's a bit less, about 13. So you need to get that much water out of it and you know you're pretty much there. Okay, so I've just started trying to drain it. And what does often happen is the drain off won't undo, which is what's happening to me right now. I cannot get that drain off to undo. So we're going to move over here to this air vent. I'm going to drain it from here. But we need to get air in to the system to allow it to drain. So what we do then, when that rounds, okay, so let me come back here. So when that rounds and you can't use it, you drain from the air vent, that's 3/4, so I should be able to wind a garden tap connection onto it. So we take this out, wind a garden tap connection on there, and then we undo the filling loop. So we undo the filling loop out of here, put a hose on that piece and blow through there to start pushing the air in and getting the water out. Okay, bit awkward, frustrating, but sometimes you've got to do it this way. Okay, so got this on there. Look, there's the drain plug in the bucket, and as you can see, it isn't draining, not properly. Oh, yeah, it's not draining properly. But once we pull that filling loop off, get the hose on there and blow through it, we've turned this off now. So let's move this. We've turned that off now. So once I disconnect this, put my hose on there, I can open this valve. Oh, the valve is open, of course it is, and then blow through, and we should get it draining. So I'll come back to when I've done that. Right, okay, as you can see I'm having trouble. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up and open the expansion vessel. There's an expansion vessel on top of the boiler underneath the cover. I'm going to go up there and open that expansion vessel. Undo the nut connected to the expansion vessel. It's starting to gurgle now, but it's still not really draining very well. Amazing that this doesn't drain. Come on. Okay, still going a little bit, it's nearly there. Once this completely stops, I'll blow through these tubes to force any last bits of water out. We've emptied the bucket once. It wasn't full, it was 3/4 of the way full, so we've got to be nearly there. Oh, there you go, look, it seems to be stopping. Nearly there. So look, this bucket's got a fair bit, and you see how hot this water is. That's why you don't want this coming out all over you, because of how hot all this is. And trust me, if you try and take this compound, all this water's in there, it just gushes out. Absolutely gushes out. Hey! Looks like with a little blow through then. Good indication it's empty now, isn't it? Because I'm blowing through one, it's coming out the other. Okay, here we go, it's drained. Now we're going to see if we can take it out. So let's get this out of the way. And let's get on with it. Trap out. Let's get this pipe out of the way. Obviously with this you tell your customer not to open any hot taps, yeah? Or cold taps for that matter. Right, undo the 2 screws that hold the bracket on, which are going to round, so I'm just going to grab them, moving my grips first. So, 1, 2, got them moving, I'm just going to undo them. hate that clip. Right. So now it's about making space. We've got to undo, only got to undo one more part to get the pump out, plus the harness. The harness is quite awkward. This one's been one of the worst ones I've ever had to drain down, actually. It's been very difficult. Let's see if we can move this PRV out of the way. Yeah, just put it down a bit. So, what you need to undo now, I'm going to bring you over to, is very, very awkward. Let's get your fit. Right, so here's the pump that's been leaking. We've got the two wires that come out of it. We've got to get them off. I'm not going to get them off on this one just in case it's not the pump and it's actually the connection above it, which sometimes happens. So I'm not going to disconnect the electrics in case I'm not changing this pump. But what I do need to disconnect is I need to take out that clip there, up there. Let's look at it from another angle. We're going to get past the return valve and there. Let me try and get it to focus in there. There, that's where we're going to take that clip out, and that pipe that's in there is the one that goes in the bottom of the tank. Over here is that pipe there. Let me come back a bit so you see the pipe is there, comes round and goes into the pump. So we pull the clip off, and because the pipe is in the bottom there, we can just swing it out. So we undo it, undo the clip, and we should just be able to wiggle that pipe out of the pump. Once that pipe is out of the pump, that whole pump just drops down. Now it will hit the PRV probably on this, and if that's the case, let me get that water off the camera. If that's the case, we've just got to chop the PRV here and put a coupling on it afterwards. So let's see what's causing this leak. Okay, so I've now pulled that pipe out of there. So this pump, it will come down. A bit tight, but it will come down. Now you've got to try and remember the orientation of all of this with this pipe going up the back. Okay, remember the copper pipe runs up the back of it. And then let's see if I can get it out on camera. I doubt it, I'll probably have to cut this, but let's give it a go. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see where that's been leaking? There. Top nut, it looks like. The top O-ring, should I say. So we don't need to take the pump out. We just need to split it there, change that O-ring on the pipe. So, let's see. So there you go, that's what was leaking. So I'm going to clean that up, change that O-ring, and start putting this back together. Right, where are you? There, that's all cleaned up. So I'm going to put an O-ring on it, and we'll get it back in the pump. The pump is not too bad. It looks manky, but it's not too bad in there. So I'll just put some silicone grease on all of that. Okay, right, this is how it should look. See the clip there? And you can see that it's there, can't you? Yeah, you can see it sticking through there. That's how the clip has to look. Be sure on that. And also when you're putting this one back in here, so be sure when you put this one back in as well, you look through here for all these pipes to make sure the clip's in. Use your phone if you got to, but you got to make sure that's in, otherwise that'll pop out and you know what happens. Right, so I've got this in now. Let me show you, this is the real hard one. Is getting that one back in. You can see the grease is coming out of it. Let me see if I can get my camera up there properly. You can see that clips in properly, yeah, from here. But that's the real fiddly one. I'm actually lying underneath the boiler to do that one. Let's see if I can get any other shots of that. Oh, there you go. Okay. See the grease on it. So now everything is on show that I need to get back together. Okay, so just got to do the condense, and this here, can you see there's a fibre washer in there? I always change them. There you go, put that one in there, and then so now that's 14mm, yeah? There we go. So I'm going to close all the taps now except one, and I'm going to slowly open. With these, there's a big thing, you have to fill them really slowly. So open a hot tap and crack the valve open to fill this up. Well, I'll get that filled up, then I'll put the condense trap in and get the PRV back where it needs to be. Everything back together, no leaks. It's always difficult to see that one up there. Let me see if I can push you up there. Can you look from here? Maybe. Oh, let's have a look. Maybe you can go up like that. There you go. All looks good, eh? It's funny if you can see the top one from here, but you can't. Anyway, it all looks good. All looks good. Everything back together. Condense is on. Just gonna test it all now. And this customer, oh, come on, there we go. This customer got their shunt pump leak fixed for 5 washers and an O-ring, plus some time. Isn't that better than fitting a 200 or 300 pound pump? It certainly is. Okay, so we're on and running. It's doing the tanks at the back. That's what the C is on the 937. And the way I check that the pump is actually working, this pipe here should get red hot. Literally should be stone cold. The boiler starts running and then it kicks that pump in. That pump comes in after, 3 or 4 seconds. That gets red hot, which it is. And then you're checking to make sure that this pipe gets hot, which it is now. It wasn't a minute ago, it is now. So both of them pipes are hot, the shunt pump is working, and we've got no leaks on it. So it's all fixed. Boiler's all tested, it's all safe. I've just got to look at the flue, I haven't seen that yet.